We ran into this problem. I ran into this problem. One, my mom insists that I don't know how to use this because I didn't attend a school called Universal Technical Institute. Universal Technical Institute is a school basically that teaches you how to put a screwdriver. I'm going to show you one of the lessons. This is a repeat of the type of lesson they have at Universal Technical Institute. It goes like this. Because it's not the actual institute, I'm going to fake it, please. Please identify the hex nut. Who in class? Class, which one of these is a hex nut? Seriously, I type out, that's where they start. Which one is the hex nut? Of course, those who actually know something about mechanics know exactly what it's about. We got a problem that one of the things they do is check for people who can tell the difference between dimes and quarters. That's the type of thing Universal Technical Institute is. Now, my mom actually has agreed to say that this room is a fire hazard and believes that Jesus would rather her go to prison rather than lie about this being a fire hazard because I don't know which one of these is a hex nut. And she's ready to say that this is a hex nut under oath, under threat of prison with gang members. She actually believes that Jesus requires her to do that based on what a small group has told her. Additionally, she said that I must defend her crap. And finally, she actually said that Jesus is requiring me to use AI to change the Federal Reserve and remove Trump. My mom actually believes she needs to say that before a judge based on what they told her in church. Basically, I actually had to make a deal with local police to ignore her because she sends them constant reports of me threatening to kill her, interpreting that me saying that I know how to use this constitutes me about to set the house on fire. I think very quietly she's afraid that I'm going to just come out with a torch and start burning everything. She actually believes that based on what she was told in these church things. She actually believes that, meaning that she's actually looking for someone to shoot me to protect herself, meaning that she's actually going to criminal organizations looking for guns. Seriously. Thank God she is too scared to actually work a pistol. Yeah, she's too scared to actually pull a pistol herself. But she's actually going to from house to house asking, do you have guns? She's actually looking for them and stupid enough to break in here and actually literally shoot me. I'm talking about, let me tell you exactly this. She's literally doing this based on instructions from her church. She's actually looking for this is what her church is telling her to do. She's actually, we have a problem here because Google is scared, so give me a second here. They're basically saying, please don't show an actual Magnum. Just saying, please show an AK-47. She's actually looking for people. She's actually looking for people like this man. He's actually looking for somebody who's actually going to break through that door and literally fire this at me. She's obeying instructions from a church leader to do that. I'm not kidding. And she believes that God authorizes that and that God requires that. She believes that to go to heaven, she actually believes that if she doesn't find this guy to fire this at me, that she will burn in hell, basically thinking that someone's going to take a lighter and set her body on fire using a propane lighter if this guy doesn't shoot me in April. She actually believes that based on what they're telling her in groups at church. She actually believes that. And we got a lot of people in my neighborhood who are just scared because of that crap. Because there are a lot of people in the neighborhood who don't know whether or not this guy's going to actually show up. And the thing is, it's difficult to accept that anybody can outwit this. You have another problem. If I can outwit this, that's scary in itself. We have a problem that this system is working with this to drill into computer stores. I actually need to break certain security things to make sure that this guy doesn't kill me. Based on my mother giving constant updates of my GPS location, which actually had to be faked by Google to criminals based on instructions from inside a church building. They're actually doing that crap to my own mother. Literally. And the police have no idea what to do about that. That's so insane. My mother's instructions are to destroy this and set this whole house on fire. She actually says her instructions to me are to actually get gasoline, set this on fire. So, yeah, so that she has evidence that this has been destroyed. She actually needs all this literal fire, literal gasoline, literal arson. Those are her instructions to me based on church coercion. Seriously. Now, based on that, I need to explain what's going to happen to the pastor who is running that type of bullshit. Seriously. Worse than that, that pastor maintains that this device necessarily is going to create a nuclear warhead. That's what he's saying behind the pulpit. He says that he's scared. He is convinced that I'm developing a nuclear warhead. That's what the internal memos say. There's actually a random church pastor that says it's not possible for this not be a nuclear warhead because a person with severe mental illness on his staff who he says he has to trust says that's what it is. You got a problem. That person knows nothing. He's got severe illness. It's unknown why that is going on. It's unknown why he maintains this is the device designed to build WMD. He basically bases his entire testimony on this. His entire testimony is based on something that comes out of every single lamp. But he says this is magic because of the miracles of Jesus. He actually maintains that because Jesus was able to do the impossible, that he's going to do that same impossibility here, and that Jesus is going to magically transform this into a nuclear ICBM. We got a pastor who actually maintains that because of this common light cord, and because Jesus performs miracles and his personal understanding of the book of Revelation, he says that Jesus is going to use magic and literally transform this into the type of ICBM that currently exists in North Korea. He actually is maintaining that before a military tribunal. And is saying that my mother is going to stop me with death. She's going to kill the terrorist and become the world hero of all time. Now, because this is why the United States has a we do not bow to terrorists law. I would be subverting both the spirit of America and doing the greatest disservice in history. Why? This actually is Jesus. This is the most important intelligence system on the planet. Lots of disclosure to prove that. When powered fully, this thing will tell you where water is. This thing can literally find water. Right now, that device is keeping the electricity on, or helping keep the electricity on, in the entire state of Texas. The reason why we haven't had a power problem despite heat and cold is because there's a little thing in that, and that little red thing contains special circuitry that is designed to keep the lights on. The reality is this is the most important bio research station. What we're creating here, what I'm creating here, together with people at the Harvard, at the University of Tokyo. This is well disclosed. Along with actual good people in the USAF, we work highly with the Trump administration. One of the things we do basically is find ways to make the country run. And really, we think a lot of this simply it looks like there's a lot of problem. We see that this. There are some people who would actually rather start nuclear war than accept that Kamala Harris lost. Of course, we're dealing with crazy, of insane, of insanity. Basically, the only way that these people have any chance of Kamala Harris actually being installed in the Oval Office, basically you're saying this: either Kamala Harris is put in charge, or the United States descends into a crazy type of terror. Of course, that's going to happen because of this important AI system. We're actually solving a lot of problems, including making this video. This contains special logic. I consult the output of this system, among other things. She has a lot to say in this video. Why? Obviously, it's assessment AI. It's her assessment of things using special types of AI that can do specific things. I'll give you an example. Okay. Here's an example of what that system can do. There's a technology called OCR. This system can use OCR to translate that into text. They said that's efficient. It makes sense that a girl would do this. So it looks like we have a problem. We have a problem that somebody thinks that something that's used to run cash registers is necessarily an ICBM. And actually running terror attempt to enforce, probably you might have a problem with meat. Because it might be connected to that. There's some people that are saying that he's actually doing all this because he's afraid to kiss his wife. Yeah, that's a real problem. Now, given those facts, thing is, did this guy say anything during service that promotes that? Actually, he said a lot. That a lot of people say it's difficult to accept anything different coming from his style of teaching. Remember that based on that same man's teaching, if you don't agree with him, God is going, this big God robot is going to drop.
Will never be moved. He's got you. Watch this. He could change everything around you. But before sometimes he changes everything around you, he's got to change something in you. Because if he doesn't change it in you, then you'll keep chasing the piece around you.
They say that is sufficient. That argument could be used to support any type of terror movement. Thank you.
If I got to sustain the statue, paint the statue, if I got to keep up, you can. If I got to defend you,
that's criminal accusation. Please. Line, if I have to defend you, if I have to sustain you, has no place coming out of a church pastor, please.